they're there. And they're not there simply just to say, oh, he's so blessed by God. They're there to watch him, make sure he doesn't screw up, and to accuse him. Not good intentions. They're not his friends. But they're sitting on the front row. They're not there to grow. They're not there to learn. They're not there to find out how to help their families grow closer to God. They're not there to spread the gospel and be about Jesus' mission. No, no. They're there to simply accuse and to tear him down. And there's a great contrast here. Jesus went into the synagogue, went right there, and went right to the man who needed healing. So here's the King of Kings ready to do healing in the front and help the body. And then here's the religious people, the people who think they're doing it right, sitting back, scowl-faced, accusing, ready to catch him doing something wrong. It's a great contrast. So they're there so they can find fault. Here's another reason. They're there so they can enforce their preferences on other people. This group, these Pharisees, had 39 categories of laws that you had to abide by. 39 categories. They saw themselves as the spiritual enforcers of the day. I'm sure they were a pleasure to be around, don't you? Always waiting to catch you. There were 39 categories of laws, of things that you could not do on Sunday. Now, I want you to understand this. Some of the people who seem the closest to Jesus are actually the farthest away from him. Some of the people who look like they're the closest to Jesus are actually the farthest away from him. Age is not a describer of spiritual maturity. Some of those mature Christians I know are very young. Some of those immature Christians I know are very old. Some of the people who think they're doing it right are like Romans. They've got a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. Just because someone looks like they're doing it right doesn't mean that they're close to Jesus at all. And this is case in point here. That these people, the Pharisees, they had memorized the Torah. They had memorized the Pentateuch, the Old Testament laws. They knew them by heart. And sometimes the ones who are the worst are the ones who look the best. They have the most scripture memorized. They give the most. They sing the loudest. They look like they do it right, and yet they're the worst. They have a front row seat but a back row heart. Sorry, you people on the back row. I'm getting everybody today. Those and these people in our scripture, they're not here to worship the Son of God and bring life to others. They're here to accuse and to find fault. And it's sad because the King of Kings is right in front of them. They're right there. They've got the answer to life and their eternity, and they're right there, and they couldn't get past their own fault-finding mindset. It's really sad. They weren't looking, they had no intention of doing anything he was telling them. They were too busy looking around. And so many people go to church, do the God thing, man. They take notes, they sit close, but have no intention of ever applying what they've learned. They go week after week and hear the message, hear how life can change, and they never have any intention of applying what they learned. So let me ask you a question. Did you come here today to worship God, or did you come here today to find fault? Why'd you come today? Some people walk away from services every Sunday, even in here. All they do to walk away each Sunday is and comment on what they didn't like. And our church is not exclusive to this. I talked to hundreds of pastors, and they all have the same thing. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. Well, you're not here to make a difference. You're here to make a judgment. You're like the Pharisees. Not here to worship the God who created you, who died for you, who loves you, who sustains us. Do you realize I've had people actually complain about the fact the music is too loud, and at the very same time, right after they got done yawking in my ear, had somebody come up and say, man, it was too soft. Crazy, huh? I've had people actually complain I'm too young. And on the same day, people come and say, wow, you're pretty old. I am what I am. I've had people say I need to preach more on tithing. And then I'm having other people say, you preach too much on tithing. I've had people say, would love to trade positions. Here's what I've learned, and it's a truth. It is impossible to satisfy the palate of a fault-finding person. Impossible. Because they'll just move on from one complaint to the next. How did you come to this? Did you come in here with a bless me, feed me, sustain me, help me, encourage me, me attitude? Or did you come in this door today saying, who can I bless? How can I show the love of God? What area of the church can I get involved in? How can I sing loud for my God who's done so much for me? How can I encourage the people who are serving this church selfishly? Came in one of two ways. Some people come to church and they always leave mad. And I just want to run to them and say, why did you come? I mean, if I know I'm going to be mad every time I go somewhere, I'm not going there. And can I just set you free if that's you? Nobody's looking forward to you being here. Would you do us all a favor and not be here? Pastor's not supposed to say that. Oh well. Verse 3. Let's move on. Isn't this great? And he said to the man with the withered hand, say it with me, church, come here. Say it again. Come here. Come here. You know what's beautiful about that? Jesus will always bypass the religious crowd and go straight to the people who need him and want him the most. He'll always bypass that. He'll always pull the unlovely straight to the forefront. Love that, man. I love this picture. He will never allow our preferences, the religious traditions, to stand in the way of him reaching people who desperately need the gospel of what he did on the cross. He'll never allow those things to get in the way. Ever. Verse 4. Jesus confronts them anyway. He said to them, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or kill? And I love this next part. But they were silent. In other words, he shut them up. They couldn't answer him. I'm going to put my own odd translation in there. You know what he said? Shut up. That's a little less spiritual, I understand. But that's essentially what he said. He just phrased it in a great question. They couldn't answer. They were silent. Look at verse 5. And he looked around at them with such love, with so much compassion, with the attitude, well, you've got to tolerate and appease them. No, the Son of God looked around at them with anger. Anger. You find that phrase over and over again with the religious crowd of Jesus. He always got angry at them. When his own disciples didn't have enough faith or did something stupid, Jesus didn't look at them with anger. But when the religious crowd, the people, the church-going people who were more consumed with do's and don'ts and all this peripheral stuff, he got angry about that stuff. He got angry. Our modern-day picture of Jesus is very different than what I think the actual Gospels portray. Our modern-day picture of Jesus is kind of like a European guy in an artistic expression with blonde hair and blue eyes, and kind of feminine looking and just that's totally not Jesus. I mean, he got angry. Other places, he got so angry, he threw people out of the temple by himself. That's anger. Jesus gets very angry at our religiosity. He gets very angry in the Gospels over and over again at the people who thought they were doing it right. I want to make a strong statement to you. religion I heard this week, and it was good, man. This is a true story, but I think it illustrates what I'm talking about. There was a church in a small rural community. The pastor had been there 7 years, and it had, in those 7 years, had grown tremendously. Tremendously. Well, the deacon board, sorry, Brother Roy. The deacons at that church called a meeting. Pastor, we need to talk to you. Boy, we thank you for your service, but you're fired. Here's your severance package. What? Actually, before that, they called a prayer meeting. They prayed for 30 minutes. They called it a prayer meeting, but it seems to be fun. And so the pastor said, well, let me ask you some questions. Have I done anything immoral? Have I not preached correct doctrine? Have I not preached the word? Have I not loved and pastored people correctly? Well, the deacon responded, well, there's too many new people. We don't know everyone's name anymore. I believe God doesn't smile when we know everybody's name. I believe He smiles when everyone knows Jesus' name. And honestly, church, I could care less if you know everybody's name. That's not the point of church. Honestly, you don't find that as a biblical qualification for a good church. Do you think the book of Acts, when the 3,000 were added one day, knew everybody's name? Do you think everybody had access to the apostles? No. Guess what they did? Met in homes, i.e. life groups. And the church grew. That's where we get life groups from. Well, the story continued, and the deacons continued. Well, here's the reality. Most are college kids, and everybody knows college kids don't pay the bills. And besides, he pointed out to the cemetery right beside the church. This is what a true statement. That cemetery is full of people whose opinions we've got to consider. Dead people were calling the shots. Greatest story and illustration of religion that I've heard in a long time. That's why